Good morning, church. I have a confession to make before I get into my thoughts for today. I really enjoyed listening to Sarah and Sue last week telling what the church means to them. So when Susan asked me if I would do the Minute for Mission, I said, okay. And then Eric downloaded the bulletin and it said, Making God's Love Visible. So I think I'm going to stick with my first ideas because I didn't want to write it all over again. I joined the church in 1985, shortly after Eric and I were married. And we have 4 children. Eric has 2 daughters, and I have 2 sons, and they all grew up in this church. To me, the church has presented many opportunities. That's my first point. But I think what I'd like to switch it around a little bit and say, these are the things that I would have missed if I hadn't been a part of this church and would be missing. So first and foremost, I have to say music has been a huge factor in our family's worship here in this church and fellowship. Our daughter Ann played in the bell choir. Sean and Jeremy sang in Mr. Hayworth's junior choir for a number of years, and I brought a little visual aid. This is a picture of the junior choir. I think it's 1985, so you'll have to look at that. And they both played in the bell choirs starting in 3rd grade and through to KCR, and went on the trips with KCR. Ann, Sean, and Jeremy all went on trips with the bells to the bell symposiums. I've also played bells in KCR and in the adult bell choir, which we're hoping to start up again, so if you're interested, see me or Scott. In the past years, I've played my flute a lot in church, and I really enjoyed that because it made me keep practicing, but because of arthritis, I can't play anymore, so that's too bad. I was a junior choir director briefly before, I guess it was maybe before Debbie Simpson took over, and Betsy Bishop helped me. She played the piano. The second area that I was able to participate in was as a youth leader. So when my boys were in middle school, many of you might remember Susan Mills Farrington. She came up to me and she said, let's start a middle school youth group. I said, okay. And she said, let's ask Mark White to do it with us. I said, good idea. So we started the middle school youth group and the pancake supper. And then when Susan moved away, Mark and I thought, let's ask Gene Mosier to help us. And we all know what happened with that. There he is. Then I also helped co-led the senior youth group when my boys were in high school. I taught Sunday school briefly, maybe 2 years, but I just decided I wouldn't do that because it would take me away from the worship choir, so I feel bad about that. Other opportunities that I've had are serving as a deacon, and that was really a wonderful experience because it made me, it gave me the opportunity to go visit people who were in nursing homes or provide meals for people. And as you all probably know, when you give to others, you get more back for yourself in how you feel about yourself. I've also been an elder on session, an elder of fellowship and visibility. Another way that I've been able to participate in this church is with doing service with this church. When we have cleanup days, and I'm only listing the few that I could think of. I'll be anxious when we can get back to when the church has left the building. I really enjoyed that. Eric and I went to, the first time, Ronald McDonald House and made brunch for the parents of the children with cancer. And then the next year we went with the Boudreau family to Acme Market and solicited donations of food for the community center. I enjoy being a part of the PW mission projects, serving, helping with them, and also supporting them with my money. Rummage. I have very mixed feelings about Rummage because for many years it was difficult for me because of the preschool, but I have come to love Rummage, I have to say. We also had a Katonah Cares About Immigrant Children fun day for the kids, where we were trying to raise money to help children that were being separated from their families at the border with finances. Let's see. The next thing is just plain old fellowship. I would be missing all the fellowship that we've had in the church in these years. When Eric and I were first married, he was the fellowship elder. So we organized some things. We used to have groups of 8 go to different people's homes and have a nice evening of either playing a game or and talking and having a good meal. Our choir parties are fun. We've had progressive dinners. We had square dancing. We had bowling. We went bowling. Coffee hour is a nice time for us to fellowship together, and there will be, we didn't set up outside, but there are goodies upstairs if you want to grab a bag. You can, I wish you would. Let's see, coffee hour. The PW dinners, the PW picnics, the brunches, the book discussions, the Christmas brunch, the auction, and Eric and I, a couple of years, have hosted a murder mystery party, dinner party at our house, and that was a lot of fun. And even making a stewardship call can be fun, because years ago, Eric was on the stewardship committee, and we had to go and visit someone, a couple, and we had to, after that, go to a Halloween party. So we went in our costumes for stewardship. And also church picnics. I miss the church picnics. Also, if I weren't part of this church, I would be missing opportunities for learning and sharing. I think of the Monday night faith and fellowship group that we used to have, the Monday morning book discussion that Jack ran, the adult education classes. It's making me sad now because we haven't had these things for 2 years. So the other way that I was given an opportunity by being a member of this church is Roberta Fogel started the preschool in 1957. And in 1993, she called me up and asked me if I'd like to buy it. And I said, let me think about it. And I did. So I had the school for 20 and a half years. And I always felt lucky because I felt that my work was my ministry. And the school, I think, continues now to be a big service to the community. So the second thing that I would be missing if I weren't a member of this church is my church family. We eat together, pray together, play together, work together, learn together, take care of our children together, make music together, suffer together, and even, yes, forgive each other. Just what loving families are meant to do. I feel very grateful to be a part of this family. Thank you.